Hello, everyone, and welcome back to What's Your Favorite Scary Story? Alyssa here,
And Marlene.
and we're excited for this week's episode. Well, I am. I haven't really clued Marlene into what our episode's about this week.
Yeah,
but-
really, I don't know what. Usually, I have an inkling of what, you let me know, like, oh, it's gonna be around this topic.
Right, like if it's like a cryptid or
Right.
urban legend or something.
Yeah, so I really don't, I really don't
You don't know
this.
anything.
I don't.
Not one
Yeah,
single detail.
You kept me in the dark this week.
Yeah, and then something you kept me in the dark this week. I was not allowed to look at the TV screen while you chose our background video to have.
Yeah, well, it's because, we went to Knott's Berry Farm today.
We did.
That was my first time there, which was really freaking... I feel like it's underrated.
It is. It's really fun and it's really chill, like compared to most theme parks.
It's cheap, first of all. It's cheap.
It's pretty reasonable.
Even the arcade games,
You like to hang out there, so that was good for you.
I love that because I'm not gonna be doing this scary,
the shit that I'm doing,
the roller coaster bullshit,
which I feel like I'm aging out of, man. Like,
yeah, we're getting up there.
Yeah,
we did a roller coaster and that I was like dizzy at the end of it, but I didn't want you to see the video that I chose today because it's related to Knott's Berry Farm.
Okay.
Because I didn't know this.
Okay.
Until after we left because I had to research this.
Of course you did.
And I was like, I want to talk, since we're recording today, I want to talk about, this thing that I found out.
A thing. I like things.
Yeah, I know you do. Did you want me to get into it right now, or do you?
I mean, it sounds like that's like I can't look at the screen the whole time. I don't want that, so I guess this is the time.
Let me pull up my notes.
Let's hear your notes.
I made a couple of notes.
Of course you did.
I just thought that you would find this interesting, mostly because, first of all, it is spooky, so it's completely relevant to the podcast.
Perfect.
And it is centered around Calico, the ghost town.
Yeah.
So, Calico, it's I really don't know exactly the town it is in. I know it's in San Bernardino County. And I think I've seen it on the way to Vegas or something. If anyone knows, please correct me, but I think it's on the way to
I'm not sure
to Vegas.
I know it's not crazy far, but it is it's a whole day trip because I've looked into going there.
Right. So I know you're not a big fan of scary horror nights and stuff like that, but Knott's Berry Farm was the first park to really have horror nights.
Oh,
basically.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it opened their Halloween weekend in 1973 through a guy named Seymour Sinister.
The spooky nights
the
open?
spooky nights.
Yeah, because they opened. They were the first theme park here, right?
They're over 100. Yeah, they're the original theme park here.
Yeah, in the 1920s.
Right. So it started through this guy called Seymour Sinister. That was his stage name.
Okay.
Who was a horror host
right.
on TV for a while, and he wanted to get a start on in a public, I guess. I'm probably butchering the story. I did this.
And Oreo right on schedule.
I did this fucking really quickly just because I wanted to get
right
started.
Hey, I mean, you know more than I know.
So he tried to get his start at Six Flags a year before.
Okay.
So in 1972, but I guess he did his performance outside, and I guess the light messed it up because he's this horror kind of a gory guy, and it just didn't mix well with Six Flags. So I guess the next year he was able to do it at Knott's Berry Farm in their theater.
Oh,
and
interesting.
It did very fucking well. So basically he kicked off Horror Nights there.
Okay.
So
Universal, you better look out.
No, for real. So basically this had to be approved by William Knott's, which is the owner of Knott's Farm,
right.
basically. And I thought this was really interesting is that, he's obviously the owner of Knott's Berry Farm. It's his fucking farm.
It is.
But he basically bought Calico Ghost Town because
William Knott?
William
the
Knott,
owner?
yeah,
Oh.
bought Calico Ghost Town because he wanted to make that into the amusement park.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So, like I can't remember if it was before or after he bought it, but he was basically he literally uprooted buildings, like Western buildings, and moved them into what Knott's Berry Farm is now.
Wait, though, like currently now that's what's there?
Currently now what we know as Knott's
So
Berry
those
Farm.
are real, like, buildings?
Some of them are.
That's so cool.
Which gives me a theory that some people believe that Knott's Berry Farm is haunted.
Okay, that makes way more sense. Like, that it, like, could be.
Because some of these buildings literally smell old.
Uh-huh.
Like that last gun shop that we walked
Yeah.
into. Like, it looks like a real building. It doesn't look like they just built it and someone just really really good construction worker built that. But he uprooted some of the buildings, and put them in Knott's Berry Farm.
That's so cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, and it wasn't like really working out in Calico because I don't know if it was like the distance. I'm telling you, I'm probably butchering the hell out of it this story.
I mean, that makes sense because, like, even in the 20s, there was, like, way more happening down here.
Right.
You know?
So basically he was trying to turn Calico into an amusement park. It didn't fucking work out. And, yeah, I mean, I think, Calico is obviously pretty cool because it's like known as a ghost town.
Yeah.
But it's originally known as a ghost town because everybody just basically abandoned it after silver, the value of silver went down because it's a silver mining town.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like a ghost town because of that. But it is also known to be a real haunted ghost town. But yeah, so I don't really like have any more like details besides that, but I just thought it was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, right?
I had no clue. I never would have like guessed that. Can I look at the screen now? I haven't been looking this whole time.
I put a video of this couple, I guess, going to like explore the Calico mines there.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool. Like, it's obviously there's like so many ghost stories on Calico Ghost Town. I don't know of any. I keep confusing this with Cerro Gordo.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why for a while there I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then I realized, like, oh, I'm thinking of Cerro Gordo, not Calico. Like, I've seen Calico, like I said. Like, I mean, at least the name of it on the mountain.
We've like talked about it for like a minute. Like, I like considered like going there for like a birthday present or something. We were like gonna go somewhere, and so I thought about that place, but
yeah, it doesn't seem like it's like all that.
It seems like it was just kind of like turned too much into a tourist attraction to make it worth it.
Which, thanks to Mr. Knott's, that's why it is the way that it is. That it's such a tourist attraction because of him. So when he and his wife passed away, they basically oh no, that's Knott's Berry Farm. I believe he just gave away Calico to San Bernardino County because he didn't know what else to do with it anymore, and he had rebuilt it in the 1950s when he like purchased it basically. He was trying to not just make it into an amusement park, but also restore it back to its original state that was like in the 1830s, I think. Also a part for it to be like an amusement park kind of thing. But it didn't work out. He gave the town to San Bernardino County. And then when he and his wife passed away in the 1990s, I think, his sons and daughters, like whoever he left the park to, they gave it to that city too. Oh. So the family didn't keep them.
Gotcha. Well, that's a really cool story. I had no clue.
Yeah, well,
Thanks for throwing that in for today.
yeah, it was pretty cool. It was all random and shit.
It was random.
Sorry.
But I like randomness.
It's because we just went there, and I like to, I like to kind of fucking
you're a
research.
researcher. Whenever you, like, experience something, especially something new, you have to know every single thing about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the things I love about you.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Wait, wasn't there something that you said that you wanted to bring up on today's episode? What was that?
What?
Oh, your mom. You said that you wanted to, like, fix the way you told your mom's story from the last episode. That's what it was.
Yeah, I butchered the hell out of it. Not necessarily
it wasn't
the
too
hell
bad.
out of it, but I just I can't really remember. Well, like I guess it wasn't like a shadow figure. It was a shadow figure, but she was able to make out more of it wasn't just like a shadow thing.
So more just kind of like a spirit, like a ghost? Or...
So it was a shadow figure, but she said that she was able to see, like, what do you call those things that go over, like, a woman's face?
Oh, like a shroud?
Like a shroud, kind of, so basically, like, she saw this woman figure, like, as tall as the fucking ceiling. Like, hunched over because she was so tall she couldn't fit with the shroud over her face, just kind of like looking down kind of thing.
But she didn't have was the face like a shadow?
I believe the face was a shadow. She was just able to see kind of through the shroud.
Interesting. Wow, like, that's so interesting that it was able to, like, manifest a detail like that.
Yeah, and I think I remember saying that it was, like, before my dad it was after my dad woke up and had left. So basically she was alone in the room, yeah. And that's why she...
Damn.
I mean, yeah. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure she would have woken my dad up.
Yeah, I would wake you up 100%.
According to her, she was in the room alone, and it was after my dad had left.
Oh, God.
So she literally just waited until, sunrise, and there was light out. And, yeah. Then she called my grandma, which, she tried to...
As she should.
She tried to dismiss it, but I believe my mom. I feel like that's definitely, like...
I believe her.
Yeah, so...
She's good peoples.
But yeah, you're right. I did kind of mess up her...
That's okay.
Her story there.
That's all good.
It was last minute. When I shared it, it was very last minute. I had not planned it. I just thought it was...
You hadn't asked your mom to, like, verify
No,
anything.
I thought it was relevant, so I just wanted to throw it.
Of course.
In. Yeah.
It's much appreciated. Of course.
But yeah, okay.
All right, is that all?
Yeah, that's it. That's it for this week.
All right, well, as I said before, Marlene does not know what we're talking about today at all. It's going to be a little bit different. This week we're not really going to have, like, multiple stories like we've been having every week. We're just going to have one story that I'm going to tell you about.
Okay. Wait, let me just fix my leg here, because I'm old.
Comfy. The oldie.
I'm old, and
the oldie with her Ori.
My joints hurt, so... All right, I think I'm ready.
Okay, so the day is September 19th, 1961. Couple, Betty and Barney Hill, which I love that because it's like Betty and Barney from the Flintstones. They were driving home late at night from a last-minute vacation. They had stopped at a diner in Vermont about 4 hours from their home in New Hampshire to recharge with some coffee. It was about 10 o'clock at night, and they were tired, but they figured they would rather just power through and get home instead of getting a hotel, which I feel like we relate to. We're always just trying to, like, push through those drives on the long road trips.
Which freaking sucks sometimes.
I know, and you're always the driver, and I feel so bad.
And it's because, in my head, I'm like, you know what, we're just 3 more hours.
Yeah.
I did 1 hour, I can do the next 2.
Right.
Know? And it's like, it's so bad. Especially if you've been, like, just going and going all day.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay, anyway.
So, turns out for them that was a big mistake. Because this is the night that Betty and Barney Hill both claim to have been abducted by extraterrestrials.
Fuck.
I think this is our first alien story.
Yeah.
We haven't done any, right?
Yo, it's about freaking time.
You're
though.
right. Yeah, this is
Shit.
episode 15. We are finally here, babe.
Yo, aliens are the first, like, my first spooky, like, conspiracy.
Yeah.
Like,
You're a big alien head for sure.
yeah, that's how it opened my doors into, like, supernatural and conspiracies and all that stuff. Fuck it. All right,
well, this story is for you. Let's go.
Thank you.
All right, so before we get into the details of the story, here's just a little bit of background info on Betty and Barney. So Betty was a social worker, and Barney was a postal worker, and they were activists and an interracial couple.
Activist as in, like, hippie shrooms?
As in, they were an interracial couple, so they were very fighting for the cause kind of thing.
Okay.
So Betty was white and Barney was African American.
Like Betty White?
Oh my god.
Rip, bro.
Yeah, we love her here. And so Barney was African American.
Barney Stinson?
Yes, Barney Stinson. Okay. So I only
The Barnacle?
Barman and Robin. Fuck, I'm like on the most sensitive part of this story.
Barnman and
We're making jokes.
Betty and the Barnacle, dude.
Yep.
Patricia and Barnacle.
Patricia. Barney's.
Barney's.
Fuck. Oh Lord. Okay, so back to the relevant part. I'm only pointing this out because, Betty was white, and Barney was African American, and I pointed out because it is slightly relevant to the story later.
Like the fact that they're interracial?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Also, we do need to remember this is 1961. They're activists, and it was unfortunately a
Jim Crow era?
A very different time. What?
Jim Crow era?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember.
Right? Or is that the 50s?
I don't remember anything from high school.
Okay, if I'm wrong, I never said that.
Yep. If you're wrong, you owe me a Dr. Pepper. But yeah, we'll revisit that later.
Okay.
All right, so back to the story. So, as I mentioned, they decided to power through that drive home, and they were expecting to arrive home around 2 or 3 a.m., which I feel is like a limit for you. I feel like if we're going to be getting home that late, you're like, let's just go home tomorrow.
Yeah, for real. Be like, I'd rather wake up early than like
die at the wheel falling asleep.
Yeah.
Don't drive sleepy. It's the same as driving drunk. I should know I fell asleep at the wheel.
Rip.
I've been there. Rip to my Honda.
Yeah.
Not me, I'm here.
No, of course, thank God, but that was a nice car.
I love that car.
I mean, your car is, this new car is like, I think nicer, but you can kind of tell that you don't care as much for this one then.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I just liked my Honda better, but it's okay. I'm very blessed. I was safe and alive in that accident, not harmed at all.
Yeah.
And I got a new car. Insurance brought me a whole new car, so
basically.
I'm very blessed.
Yep.
What was I talking about? So they were driving through like a pretty rural area of New Hampshire when suddenly they see a strange light up in the sky. Here we go. At first, it looked like a falling star, but it grew larger and brighter with each mile they drove. Barney tried to reassure Betty and said it was probably a satellite that just went off course. But as they continued to drive, they quickly learned that was not true. The light seemed to move with the car, even as they drove through a curvy mountain road. The light zigged and zagged, ducking past the moon, and behind trees and mountain ridges, only to appear moments later.
Damn.
Sometimes the light would seem to move towards them, sort of like a cat and mouse game,
right?
Which is crazy, because that's not a light at this point.
Yeah, no, it's obviously something intelligent.
Yeah.
So
they kept trying to convince themselves that it was just some kind of illusion, but after a while they got too curious and decided to pull over. Probably mistake number 2. When they stopped, Betty looked up into the sky with a pair of binoculars and saw that it wasn't actually a light they were seeing, but an object spinning around.
Okay, but who's holding, like, who owns a pair of binoculars in their car like that, though?
My dad.
Yeah, I guess so. You're
White
right,
people.
Right. No, actually, I had some too. I mean, I took them out, but
Yeah, I mean, also, maybe
You're
it
right.
was, like, more useful in the 60s. You don't have, like, a zoom on your phone or something, you know?
On your phone for what?
To, like, see far. Like, they don't
I guess
they don't have, like, a smartphone then, you know? I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't ask me. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she saw that object in the sky spinning around and then said to her husband, Barney, if you think that's a satellite or a star, you're being completely ridiculous.
And I'm sure there were talks of, like, UFOs back then too, but
it did, like, exist, the concept of, like, aliens and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it was just really fucking taboo still.
We'll get there, actually. You always are, you know what I'm going to talk about later. It's like we know each other or something. But no, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but we're actually not talking about that. But we're talking about, like, what it was like before.
Okay.
Okay, so Barney was a pretty logical man, but he knew that she was right. He didn't know what that thing was, but he knew it wasn't a satellite or a star. So they got back in their car and just started driving. And the light continued to follow them.
Damn.
That's creepy.
That is fucking
like,
creepy.
She just looks up and it's probably just spinning around in place. And then once they get in their car and they leave, it just starts moving again. That's when you know, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But after a while, the light was about 100 feet above them. Barney stopped the car again abruptly. Leaving the engine running, he grabbed a handgun and ran off into a nearby dark field. Why is that the move? I don't like that.
But just the fact that he felt safer out there is crazy.
It sounds like he was going to, like go and, like, investigate. Like, it sounds like he's, like, running into, like, danger more to me.
Yeah, but, I mean, the object wasn't in the field yet.
It, like, kind of sounded like that's, like, where it was.
It wasn't just up in the air yet?
I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But yeah, regardless, that's scary. So, yeah, it sounds like he ran out to the field and then he looked up, because when he looked up above this field was whatever the object was as big as a jet but as flat as a pancake.
So he basically ran up towards under.
Yeah, under it. I guess maybe
the object.
It seems like it was following them from the side, maybe in the field area.
Yeah, and he probably ran up to it like, what the fuck is this?
So he thought to himself, what is this thing? This can't be real. As he looked up at it, he saw gray, uniformed beings looking right at him through the windows.
Damn.
He tried to grab...
Imagine that. My painting of the gray.
Oh, no,
just,
thank you.
Staring at you through, like,
windows. That kind of looks like Paul.
No,
like,
it
from
doesn't.
The movie.
No, he doesn't.
I don't know. He gives me good vibes. I like him. But I get what you're saying.
Okay, now you have to show the people. You have to upload them to your story.
Okay, I will.
And,
I will definitely do that.
Have people vote on him, because he's definitely not scary.
If he's what?
Or he's not. Yeah, that you said he looks like Paul.
Kind of.
Paul does not look like that.
Not, like, incredibly. No, he just gives me the same vibes as Paul, I think. Like, he seems like a cool guy. Like, he's just Jay chillin'.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, this guy's, like, really fucking smart, though.
Oh, he's super intelligent.
Yeah, super smart. And, like, probably almost as cool as me.
Almost.
Keyword.
Of course. Nobody's as cool as you.
No.
On Earth or any other planet.
Alright.
Yeah, so he looks up from the field and sees something and he does not know what it is, but he tried to grab for his gun and he couldn't. A voice was telling him not to put down his binoculars.
To not put him, so, like, keep watching.
To, like, hold the binoculars and watch them and not move, basically. He suddenly had a terrifying thought. We're about to be captured. He started running back to the car, yelling hysterically for Betty. He jumped in the car and started speeding down the road while Betty had her head out the car window, keeping an eye on the object. They kept hearing loud, unexplained, rhythmic beeps from the car trunk.
Fuck.
That's so scary. Oh my god. I would be losing it. Then they felt instantly drowsy and lost consciousness. The next morning, they woke up in their home with no recollection of what happened after they lost consciousness or how they got home.
Like when you get fucking blacked out drunk.
I guess I've never been blacked out, but I'm assuming.
You just wake up at home and you're like, fuck, thank God I'm home. Holy shit, I don't even remember getting home.
I mean, I think I'd have like a little more questions than if it was from alcohol. This seems like a little bit more something that, I mean, I'd be grateful to be home, but there would be a lot going through my head.
Well, yeah, like
what the hell?
Like, did I just dream this?
But both of them?
Yeah, that's nutty.
Yeah, so they woke up in their home. No idea how they got there. But there were a few things that were off. Barney's shoes had been scuffed. Betty's dress had been torn, like right here on the chest, like a big tear. And both of their watches had stopped working.
At the same time, so they were like paused at the same time.
Yeah,
basically.
probably. So naturally, they were very perplexed by what had happened to them. And so Betty spent hours in the library reading about a civilian UFO group called the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, which sounds like something you would go and do if there was no smartphones.
Yeah, probably.
She also filed a report to the Air Force concerned about radiation, because that was like a big fear back then, which I get.
Yeah, Cold War.
Yeah. So over the next few years, they both suffered from disturbing dreams and anxiety. So they started seeing a psychiatrist named Benjamin Simon, who helped them piece together what had happened on that night. After months of hypnosis, which was a popular technique at the time, Betty and Barney started to recall what happened to them. Supposedly, the UFO landed on their car, and the gray beings put them to sleep. Shortly afterwards, the beings led them up a long ramp into the spacecraft they had seen following them. Once they were brought into the spacecraft, they were separated and individually tested. They were asked to climb on a metal table and remove their clothes. The beings then proceeded to pluck their hairs, take clippings from their nails, and peel off parts of their skin.
Fuck.
Why is that creepier than probing to me? Like, just little slices of our skin? Ugh.
Well, like, probing
is really bad, but there's something different about that to me. I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah, because they're literally, like, scraping up samples of a human body.
Like, treating us like an object. Like,
yeah, just the way that we do with plants.
Yeah.
You know?
Damn, oh my god.
And it's like, they probably process pain differently than us.
Maybe.
And don't.
Or they just don't care.
They don't care.
Maybe empathy isn't a thing that exists with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got skin samples from them. And Betty and Barney saw that each sample that was taken from them was placed on something that resembled like a glass slide that you'd look at under a microscope, you know? The beings also probed needles into their arms, legs, and heads, which I don't know why, when I was taking these notes, I don't know why I wasn't so, like, disturbed by a head being probed. What does that even mean? Like
through the ear holes?
Maybe? Yeah, oh my
God.
God.
Like up the nose, dude.
That's like a freaking lobotomy.
Well, lobotomy's through the eye, actually.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. Which is even worse, honestly.
Yes, it is. 100%. Betty said that one needle was even inserted into her stomach as a pregnancy test.
Whoa.
Yeah. Betty and Barney both claimed that one of the beings was the, quote, leader, and this leader was observing the process from the side.
Like a supervisor kind of did.
Yeah. And so at one point, Betty was alone with the leader, and asked it where the craft had flown from. And apparently the leaders showed her a star map, which is interesting. Like, it sounded like they were having, like, conversation here and there.
Yeah, just like through...
Yeah, they didn't
like,
say if it was, like, speaking or telepathically or...
Right.
I don't know. But she was able to replicate that star map under hypnosis that she had seen. So she, like, drew it out from memory.
But it didn't... It didn't look like a star system we know.
Well, actually, years later, a woman named Marjorie Fish. I mean, of course, this is all alleged because it didn't even say who this woman was.
Right.
But she attempted to interpret Betty's reproduction of the map and concluded that it was the star system Zeta Reticuli. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
No, but so, I mean, or at least like it resembled something like that, you know. So in 1965, the Hill's story was picked up by a Boston newspaper. This changed everything. Their story eventually became the subject of a best-selling book and a movie starring James Earl Jones called The UFO Incident. This story was very widely publicized and has helped shape how we talk about alien encounters and abductions to this day. So, like we were talking about before Betty and Barney's story, alien encounters were actually thought to be, like, kind of friendly. And supposedly aliens would just commute back and forth from Earth and their planet. And it was just, like, a more casual thing. Because I guess maybe anything, like, in TV shows or movies was maybe just a little bit more corny about aliens or something.
Yeah, like Alf.
Oh, that is like an alien, huh?
Yeah. Alf is
I didn't even think about that.
So TV back then would give them, like, the funny guy personality and, you know, just quirky.
I mean, even in
like
American Dad, Roger.
Right,
they
still do it. But yeah, Alf is one of, like,
I never
TV's
realized.
First. I know there's an older show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know Alf for sure, like, because Alf is Alf.
Alf
right?
is Alf.
Yeah, it's like pretty, even though I've never seen the show.
Right,
and
you know about it.
I'm not white, I know about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that speaks.
I just thought he was like some weird thing. I never thought that he was an
alien
alien.
thing, yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. That's how they used to portray him, so that's why it's like.
Yeah, but once Betty and Barney's story became better known, abduction accounts shared certain characteristics, such as medical examinations and missing time, because they lost, like, their whole night.
Right.
You know?
With no recollection.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And it became common knowledge that aliens were gray and had large heads and big eyes. That looks like your alien up there on the wall.
Yeah.
You got it right on the nose, babe.
Thank you.
Of course. These descriptions became classic staples in pop culture, so we see a shift here. So naturally, there were people that did not believe Betty and Barney's story. Many people thought that the stress of being an interracial couple living in a predominantly white state led to a shared hallucination of the event or false memories of the event being recalled.
But how would that even happen?
I guess they probably did, like, deal with, like, hate and just, like, never feeling comfortable being with each other out in the world, you know? So yeah, people that's what people were saying.
Yeah, but at this point, you're literally talking about a shared dream because you're both stressed out about a situation. Like, first of all, how do you even share a dream this vivid? You know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just dismiss it as they're fucking crazy.
What I said at the end there, too, they also, like, hypothesized that not necessarily was something that was created, but there was, like, an event that happened, and they both, like,
saw it this way.
Recalled it differently than how it actually happened, but, like, the same way.
That still doesn't make sense.
I mean, it was 1961. That's what people were thinking. I don't know why.
Yeah, they were still doing lobotomies then, so clearly they were not fucking
thinking well.
Yeah, so
exactly. But others pointed out also that past experiences would shape human perception of like what happened. They pointed out that Barney said that the leader of the beings looked like Hitler and seemed menacing. So now Barney was a World War II vet, so people believed this is part of what made him manifest those beings and remember the leader looking like that. But what about Betty?
Yeah, maybe like the leader be like having a uniform sort of outfit that resembled a soldier. You know, if they're all in a group conducting these travel experiments, like the army and any other army in the world, they might have a uniform, you know?
Yeah.
For all we know, they're probably just not butt naked, dude. You know?
Yeah.
They could probably be clothed in military-esque fucking uniform, so.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, but it's like that's what they were saying about
That
Barney.
slightly resembled Nazis.
Slightly, yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know, because then why would Betty see the same thing? She wasn't out at war.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm sure she's seen like pictures of Hitler, but that's a stretch to me. So Christopher French, a psychologist who specialized in human experience related to the paranormal, he weighed in and said, quote, "What we see and hear, especially in less than ideal observational conditions, can be heavily influenced by our prior beliefs and expectations." So that was just a little tidbit to like support what people were thinking back then, I guess. So I remember how, you know, Betty had gone to the library and she was researching that like UFO group.
Right.
So that group, they found her account credible, but the Air Force's Project Blue Book, I haven't heard of it, but they ended up dismissing the story. They hinted that the couple hadn't seen a spacecraft, but only the planet Jupiter. And that's like all that was said as like their statement. Like
I mean, this was still a time before they declassified all of this, you know, UFO.
That's true.
Which they don't even call them UFOs anymore.
Right. It's UAI or something. UIA.
That does not sound like.
Pause, please. There's a U in it and an A. Okay, we got it. It is UAP.
Unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
Oh, I thought it was aerial. Interesting. So what does anomalous mean exactly?
Like anomaly?
It's like kind of what I'm thinking of, but so does that mean that could be anywhere?
Like just abnormal?
It doesn't specify it's in the air. Does that count for like Sasquatch?
I think that's the point, because
just to classify anything unexplained?
Yeah, and yeah, basically.
I can see that.
Yeah, but then you're just kind of discrediting
that's
a
like
UFO,
a specific part.
Which is why they changed the name, so it's easier for them to discredit it and not say
but aren't they
it's a flying disc in the sky.
But aren't they trying to like push it in our faces now? Like, actually, they do exist, and like we have some captured or something. You know?
It's weird.
It's like a conspiracy.
Yeah, it's.
Anyways,
it's complicated. It's like a lot more complicated than that.
Yeah, of course. But
than just a name change. It's like it goes fucking deep.
Yeah, but Air Force said it was Jupiter. Definitely don't know if I believe that one, but you know, that was their take on it.
Bullshit.
Yep. But regardless, Betty and Barney ignored all the skeptics and stuck by their story until the day they died. They felt that false memories and sleep paralysis did not explain what they experienced. So, unfortunately, Barney did pass away just 8 years after the event. RIP. But Betty lived into old age and actually became a known voice in UFO research, having spent the rest of her life heavily looking into the topic. She claimed that she was even visited again multiple times throughout the decades of the rest of her life, and she has also expressed beliefs in other conspiracy theories. And yeah, that was the story of Betty and Barney Hill.
Damn. And I feel like UFOs, aliens are like just the tip of the iceberg. I feel like once you accept the possibility of, like, not in a blasphemous way where we're admiring these beings for being so, because Jesus is technically an alien, if you want to look at it that way, because he's like not of this earth, almost like he was sent
another worldly being.
Yeah. That's a stretch though. I don't mean to offend anyone, but like I think the belief of aliens is like blasphemous in some religions, because you're giving a being
is it almost like comparing it to like Jesus and that kind of thing,
or like a godly
a powerful being? But the thing is, like, if they do exist, nobody's giving them that powerful meaning. Like, they gave themselves the power, like they're that advanced, like, because, or you know what, they might not even be like, quote, that advanced. Like, have you ever thought about how, like, because we're talking about other planets, but then that's like in our like galaxy and in our universe, but there's like another universe somewhere, or just like another galaxy. Like, what if there literally is like a whole nother life somewhere, not necessarily like more advanced than us, but just like differently advanced, like with their own technology? Because it's like,
oh, like you mean with the sources that they have in their
planet.
Right.
So not necessarily more advanced than us with better technology, but just a different life than us.
Yeah,
like similar to like parallel dimensions, but just happening in the same timeline.
I see what you're saying.
I don't know.
It's also like, but we also have to acknowledge that they do have like better technology than us. Because,
most of them, yes, I'm sure.
Yeah, because there's a theory that allegedly, during World War II, Hitler got a lot of his plans, his blueprints of, like, through alien, like some sort of alien being, allegedly, because they're, after his death, they found like a journal full of blueprints of weapons that the Nazis wanted to use against other countries to kind of succeed in their goal. And one of them included a hovercraft which resembled a UFO.
Yeah.
So there's that theory that, not necessarily that aliens are fucking Nazis or anything, but like, how did he get that blueprint?
Right.
And when this was still like, I don't even know if they knew how to reverse engineer a UFO. But they, as in like scientists or whoever's in charge of any of that shit. But also, aliens are mentioned, just because we were talking about religiously. Aliens are mentioned in the Bible in a sense. Like angels don't look like the angels that we draw up, and like that we depict with like cute faces and these wings and stuff. Like there's one angel that's like depicted with like 16, 18, like, someone correct me, but like with 18 eyeballs.
What?
And yes. Here, let's pause it really quickly. I want to show you this. Okay, so not to like take up a lot of the time on this,
You're
but
good. We have, well, not all the time.
Oh, no,
I
know.
We're good. We're fine.
But there's this like angel and like an artist drawing interpretation of this angel, that it said that it was like the actual wheels of the Lord's like chariot.
What?
And this is like the quote of like how it's explained, how it's described. The 4 wheels had rims, and they had spokes, and their rims were full of eyes round about. Basically, that.
Oh my god.
They are.
What?
It's also like referred to as many-eyed ones, and it's like these 2. Like, imagine 2 rings, like that, the rings that go around your finger.
Okay.
2 rings kind of like making an X symbol with like eyes all around them.
So like it's like a one ring up one way vertical, and then the other ring is like horizontal, like in between it.
Yeah.
Made out of eyes.
Yeah. And it's like,
what?
It's like it's like one of the closest angels to God. basically. And
That's crazy.
there's paintings of this, like angel, like and it's just funny how we imagine angels as these beautiful
it
creatures.
sounds like a mythological creature.
But if
something.
you actually take the description of angels, like from the Bible, like they look like aliens. And there's also paintings like from I'm not sure what era it is, like the regular Jesus paintings of like the crucifixion that you see at churches, like that era of painting. I don't know, Michelangelo paintings, kind of Enlightenment era, what Renaissance, what is that? Fucking,
yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
That era, I forget what the fuck it's called, but that sort of painting style with UFOs literally painted in the sky in the background.
Shut up.
Yeah, with like real religious figures that like we pray to.
Right.
And it's like pretty crazy. And the only reason I know about this is because I've been a huge fan of fucking Ancient Aliens, and they have episodes on this. And like if you take your time to like look these episodes up, they'll explain everything like a lot better. But it's worth watching. And
all right.
Lots of theories for sure, but it's all alleged. It's all the theories. It's all alleged. I'm not saying anything.
Yo, who thinks Marlene should start her own podcast about all of her conspiracy theories?
Dude,
I think that would be successful.
Yeah.
It would be long, that's for sure. You wouldn't run out of episodes
no,
for a while.
I would keep fucking talking just the way that I am right now.
Right.
But yeah, sorry I went off.
No, you're good. I don't even remember what the story was about.
Well, like aliens and stuff.
Yeah. Betty and Barney Hill. Yes.
Yeah, the barnacle.
The barnacle, the Barnice and Patricia.
Yeah.
And I do want to mention, I was like so excited to get into this, and we had, like our stories in the beginning. I completely forgot to thank our person who suggested this topic. They did choose to remain anonymous, but I just wanted to thank you. We appreciate the suggestion. I love this story. I've been listening to a couple podcast episodes on it. So, I was really excited to do it, and I think it was a good one. But yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate everyone that sends in suggestions. So if you haven't already and you like this stuff, clearly you do if you're listening to this, I'm sure you have a story that you are dying to know more about. You know where to send those suggestions. Where should they send them?
Send them to whatsyourfavoritescarystory@gmail.com.
That's right.
If not, call us at 1-800-709-8292 and leave us a voicemail.
What phone number is that?
It's actually the phone number from where that one thing, what's it called? The fucking Floam. It's funny you can feel.
You have to do that one of these days.
Dude, it's the Floam commercial.
She knows the entire Floam commercial by heart, every word.
And the phone number.
Because
I wanted Floam very fucking bad.
And you were like, I gotta remember that and tell my mom.
It was before it was sold in stores as like the cheap version of it. Like, Floam, it's funny, can feel, rolled and molded or covered. That's the way you Floam it. Dude.
I'm guessing you never got Floam.
I never got Floam.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
At least you have the memories of the commercial.
Yeah, I guess that's good enough.
So just email in the stories. If you want, you can DM it onto our Instagram. That is also, what is the name of our Instagram? Is it just What's Your Favorite Scary Story?
At What's Your Favorite Scary Story.
Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, that's straight up what it is.
Yeah. So you can find it. Also, if you're not following us on Instagram, you should follow us on Instagram. It's just What's Your Favorite Scary Story. And then send us a message on what you want to hear on the next episode.
Yeah, you should go ahead and do that. I think I'm going to submit my story.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and hopefully it gets chosen.
We'll see.
We'll see, I
guess. I'll talk to our social media manager and tell him to keep an eye out.
Okay, I guess I'll try to. Is there like a specific time of like window that I should like? Like, should I send it in the morning
I
or
mean,
like...
Your girl doesn't wake up to like 11 alarms, so I think any time is fine. Even if I'm asleep, I don't think it will bother me too much.
Okay.
I am the social media manager. Surprise.
Okay. Well, I'll try to send it in and hopefully it gets picked up.
All right, we'll see.
Because I think my story's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah?
I've been sending it in for the past, like, 7 weeks.
Oh,
and I haven't gotten a response, so...
Oh, no.
It seems like everyone else's story gets picked up for some reason.
Even
but
anonymous.
Mine just gets... Yeah, even anonymous, bro. Mine just gets ignored and ignored and ignored.
What are you going to do?
Cry about it.
Yeah, you can do that. But anything else you want to say to the peoples before we sign off?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that this week's story was really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I was excited about it.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what
finally
kind of
aliens.
Story? Yeah. I feel like we talked about aliens before, but...
Did we?
Yeah.
What episode was that?
Well, when I shared the story about...
your story.
Yeah.
That's right, during the Skinwalkers episode.
Yeah, Skinwalkers
You're right.
episode.
But we haven't done a whole episode on it.
No, we haven't? I don't think we have, huh?
No. Yeah, so this is the first one, episode 15. It's going down in history.
Yo. I guess I should have added a couple of my alien stories.
I mean, you can if you want.
I feel like we can have another alien episode.
Yeah, okay, you can bring those up on our next alien episode.
Because I have a couple, and I might be able to get my brother to tell a story, because I share one of my alien stories with him, and my dad was with us, and hopefully he remembers that. But hopefully he can, add to that story. Anyway, I want to thank everybody too who has been actively like following our stuff, replying to Alyssa's stories on the Instagram. Like, we always really like
just
we
staying
always
involved.
Yeah, we always just want to know, like, what do you want to listen to? Like, what do you want to hear next?
That's literally what this podcast is.
What scary story do you want to hear? Like, it doesn't have to be your personal scary story. If you just want to know a little bit more about a topic you find interesting that's in the realm of paranormal or horror, or
just something you've like heard about randomly, like someone mentioned in
a
passing.
conspiracy, fucking Bigfoot, let's go for it,
Yeah, I'm up for the challenge and like anything new, because trust me when I say the podcast I am listening to now, they have almost 400 episodes and I'm on almost episode 300, so I have heard many, many, many stories. And so if there's anything that you can like suggest that I haven't heard about yet, I want to hear it. Like 100%.
Like, think about our, your culture. Maybe you're not Latino, and maybe you in your culture there's urban legend that,
or a cryptid,
anything. Really just...
Yeah, use that just imagine what you want to hear, but make it a real thing so I can research it.
Right. I think I know what you were trying to say.
I don't know. I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm fucking tired too. But thank you guys. Thank you everybody for listening. And thank you everyone for supporting.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who's contributed to the podcast.
Yeah, through the Spotify contributions.
Yeah, we appreciate
Quite
that.
helpful. We appreciate all of you.
And any extra donations that come in, we fucking appreciate it. We love you guys.
Yes, of course.
I think that's pretty much it. Just continue to like share if you can. Share with people. Share on your stories.
Your socials.
Like, it's fucking free, bro.
Help your people out.
Yeah, just help your girls out, dude.
Yeah. Well, I guess if that is all, they're not in the mine anymore on the TV. We're in the woods now, which is also spooky. So that reminds us to tell you to stay spooky.